All right, so this week on my advice from dad, I had a question come in from a guy who was in his mid 20s and had just come out of a somewhat serious relationship. They'd been together and living together for about 3 years, he said, and he wanted to know how long should I wait? When should I start dating again? And I thought that was a great question. And I want to preface it by saying there is no right or wrong on this. There is no set time. I know the relationship coaches that are out there, and they'll throw things out like you got to wait a year for every year in the relationship, which is absurd to me. Or you got to wait 1 month for every year of the relationship. So it was a 3-year relationship, 3 months. I don't believe there's any solid right or wrong. It's unique to the individual. It's unique to you and where you're at. Because, for example, you may have known that relationship was going to end for a while and already grieved and processed it, so that when it ultimately ended, you may be ready to go out and date right away. Or conversely, you might have been completely blindsided and it might be a very long-term relationship and you need to give it time to heal. And that's the main point that I want to make. There's no right or wrong on time. The key thing to think about is, have you healed from the loss of that relationship? Because, like many psychologists will tell you, it is just like a death. You've lost something significant. So if you've been married for any length of time, you have to give yourself time to process it and go through the grieving process. And for most, that doesn't happen overnight, but for some it does. That would be the first thing I would do. Next, I would take a few minutes and think about, what is your goal behind dating? Because it really depends on how you define what dating is. For many, dating is just simply going out and hanging with someone. For me, it's a little different. I consider dating to be when you're trying to meet someone to be in a relationship with. I differentiate it from trying to hit it and quit it. And again, if your goal is to find someone to be in a relationship with, you may need to give it more time. If your goal is to just go out, have fun, party it up, and, well, you may be ready a lot sooner. Again, it's unique to you, what you believe, what you need, but ultimately to me, it comes down to, are you ready yet? And only you can answer that. And I will tell you, I approached it from both sides of the spectrum after my divorces. In one instance, I waited a very long time before I started dating again. In others, I was pretty much ready to go because I knew long before that relationship was over. So once it did ultimately come to an end, I was out dating pretty quick afterwards. So even within one person, you might have different sides of the spectrum. My advice to this young man and to all of you is, you have to sit down and have an honest conversation with yourself. Decide, am I ready or do I need more time? Decide, do I want to look for a serious relationship now, or do I want to just go have some fun and whatever happens, happens? Again, there are no right or wrong answers to this. You need to do you, but in the end, you need to put yourself first and what is best for you.